So, I just watched Happy Gilmore 2, and it was really fucking bad. Now, I have to admit, I do have a bit of a bias for Adam Sandler. Despite what I'm about to say about this movie, I actually do like him quite a bit. I respect him immensely because basically his entire career is finessing movie studios to pay him a shitload of money to dick around with his friends and churn out slop that people enjoy. While also occasionally reminding people like me that when he gives a shit, he's actually a really talented actor. I'm almost jealous of how good his racket is. Also, my brothers and I bonded over his movies. One of our favorites is Happy Gilmore, and it's something that we quote all the time. It's safe to say that I have a soft spot for that movie in particular, so when I first heard that they were making a sequel, I knew deep down that it wasn't going to be very good, especially given Adam Sandler's recent track record. But I was still open to seeing it, and I promised that I approached this film with an open mind. I didn't want to hate this. But man, I was astounded by how fucking awful this movie was. To start things off, this is one of the ugliest movies I think I've seen all year. Everything looks so plasticky. The contrast is so high. It looks like somebody puked up a bunch of candy all over every single frame of this movie. The opening narration of this film is so flat and lifeless, I was convinced it was AI. Shit, in fact, I'm still not convinced that it isn't AI.
I got to marry a great lady named Virginia, and we had a son named Gordy. The wins didn't always come as expected.
I was tempted to copy and paste the opening monologue of this film into a celebrity voice replicator for Adam Sandler, and seeing how close it was. But then that would mean I'd have to look up one of these sites, and I just don't want to do that. I knew that I was in trouble watching this opening sequence. It's so laughably bad. The CGI is so unconvincing and terrible that I also thought that they threw something into one of those video generator engines and just said, generate a flashback scene from Happy Gilmore, and they just kind of wrote around it. That, with the combination of Adam Sandler's lackluster monologue at the beginning, I knew that I was in trouble. Technically, this film was a mess too. The editing in this movie kind of drove me crazy.
One more thing.
It's no good.
The money.
See, looking at this scene here, it's like they had two different takes of this scene. One of them struggling with the box of beer, and the other one of her just pulling the box of beer back to her. And then they just kind of mashed those two takes together. It also doesn't help that Adam Sandler just doesn't give a shit in this movie, so this isn't even a convincing looking struggle. But we'll get to Adam Sandler a bit later. The editing of this film also ruins a lot of the jokes. There were moments that had me close to laughing, but then it'd overstay its welcome with an additional frame or two, and it'd make me just not laugh as hard as I probably would have. It turns a into mostly just a slight nose exhale. Now, obviously, comedy is subjective, but it is my subjective opinion that this movie just isn't fucking funny, like, at all. And there's a few reasons as to why, but the editing is a big one for me. To clarify the point I was making earlier about jokes overstaying their welcome, I'm going to show you a quick scene from this movie and explain why it just doesn't work for me personally.
But still ferocious. You gotta teach me how to do that, dude. Dude! Dude!
Okay, so on its own, this scene isn't that bad. It's a funny, sudden cut with some wacky hijinks. However, the problem that I have with this moment and what kind of ruins the joke for me is this middle cut here. The slow-mo reaction of Eric Andre flying off the hill just ruins this joke for me. It's as if the movie doesn't have enough confidence in the joke to just let it play out naturally. They've got to have Eric Andre making goofy faces in slow-mo in order to sell the joke better. Me personally, I'd cut that part out of this and just leave the joke like this.
But still ferocious. You gotta teach me how to do that, dude. Dude!
You may or may not find this funny, but I do, and it's my review, so fuck you. But the movie is filled with humor like this. Bad Bunny plays a server who becomes Happy's caddy later on in the film, and he's got some decently funny moments. I don't really mind Bad Bunny, he's got some good comedic chops to him. One of these scenes is where he imagines his own happy place, and it involves him getting revenge on another server. Played by that one guy who's Taylor Swift's boyfriend, and I think he's like a baseball player or something, I don't know. The joke isn't that great, but what makes it worse is Adam Sandler just directly saying out loud what the joke was right after we see it.
Oscar, you were thinking about a bear eating that waiter, weren't you?
Yes.
I thought so. Was there honey involved?
Un poquito.
This is emblematic of the movie itself having writing that I can't fucking stand. Rather than, utilizing the art of film to show us what the characters are feeling or what their motivations are. No, fuck that. Just tell us everything. Did you guys know that film is a visual medium and you can express things like anger or resentment through just an actor's performance if you give them good enough direction? Nah, just say it out loud, because that's what people do, right? They just say how they're feeling.
My name's Will, and I'm still mad at you for choking me out, you son of a bitch.
That's how people showcase emotion, right? They just fucking tell you how they feel? Wait, is that MJF? Anyways, back to how unfunny this movie is. Another reason why this film just doesn't make me laugh is that it's very apparent that Adam Sandler is just checked out making this film. Happy Gilmore is supposed to be down on his luck. He's this washed up drunk who doesn't play golf anymore because of an accident with his wife a few years ago. And while Adam Sandler looks the part, he doesn't really act the part. I don't believe that he's grieving his wife and washing away his feelings with booze because he doesn't want to put in 10% more effort. I know you're a good actor, Sandler. I've seen it, but that extends to just about everybody in this movie. All of these performances are so flat and lifeless. These people do not give a shit and want to deliver their stupid lines and get paid for it, and that's it. The only actors that try even a little bit are Christopher McDonald and Benny Safdie. McDonald reprises his role as Shooter McGavin, and his comedic chops really shine in this movie. Maybe it's because no one else gives a fuck, but he honestly acts circles around everybody in this movie. His scenes were the very few that actually got a decent chuckle out of me. I know I've been shitting on this movie for basically the whole video, but by far, the most obnoxious thing about this film is that it's just a pathetic reference fest. All it does is remind you of the first film, so much so that it'll just play clips from the first one.
My dad used to be your boss when you work in construction.
I'm truly proud of you.
Hey, thanks a lot, Mr. Larson.
That's fucking desperate. Remember when Happy Gilmore choked out his caddy in the first film? Well, now that caddy has moved up in the world and is now a golfer, and guess what he does to his caddy? Adam Sandler has a fucking amazing line about that.
How he gets it.
Remember that guy who shouts jackass at Happy Gilmore from the first film?
Jackass! Jackass! Jackass!
Well, now his son, who somehow looks older than his father, is also a guy that shouts jackass at Happy.
Jackass!
Wow! What a great callback! There's a fight scene between Happy and Shooter McGavin in a graveyard, and most of the characters from the first film are buried there. It's like they expected us to watch this scene and go, "Oh my god, I know who that is! Hey, it's that guy! Wait a second, he's here too? I know what that is! I know who they are!" Like it's just a graveyard for the people from the first film? But why would they all be buried in the same place? Does this city only have one graveyard? Why are they all buried next to each other? Is this some kind of like communal thing for Happy Gilmore's friends and family? Did he specifically request that they be moved there to be buried? Look, I get that it's a comedy and that I'm overthinking this shit, but my brain can't help but wander when I'm watching this nonsensical trash. This movie fucking sucks. It didn't have to be so pathetic that it is going so far to reference people that are dead and buried. Is it really too hard to come up with anything else? Do we really just have to check all the boxes and cash out on the Happy Gilmore name while we still can? The celebrity cameos in this movie are so fucking obnoxious as well. They just don't make any sense. They play random characters and they smile at the camera so that the people watching this movie can point and go, "Hey, I know that guy." Are we really scraping the bottom of the barrel? Are we really stooping so low that we're hiring hack fuck Rogan-verse comedians to play podcast hosts that just sit on their set and collect a check to make stupid fucking faces at the camera? Are these films really that cynical? Of course they are, but let me be clear here. I'm the dumbass. I have zero issue with people who enjoy these kinds of movies. I'm very well aware that I'm actually in the minority and people really like this sequel. And that's fine, go off, enjoy what you want to enjoy. I knew what I was getting into by watching this. But even with my open mind and my expectations near the Mariana Trench, I was still completely gobsmacked by how stupid and shitty this film was. Happy Gilmore 2 is your standard Adam Sandler flick. I honestly don't know what I was expecting these days. It's just unfunny slop that is overly mean-spirited, the jokes are over-explained and repetitive, but at least it's not as racist as his other movies, so there's that, I guess. I hate to sound pretentious, but this is bottom of the barrel shit that'll probably entertain really small children and adults who see movies once a month to kill 2 hours. So if that describes you, then knock yourself out. Have a great time. For me, and everybody else like me, this is 2 hours of my life that I will never get back. I absolutely, 100% with my whole heart and my whole chest, do not recommend Happy Gilmore 2.